Okay, this is a serious academic question, and I need us all to act like adults for like 2 seconds. Why do Greek statues have such small penises? I mean, if you stop to really look at these pristine marble statues, you'll find that none of them have a lot going on down there. These are supposed to be figures of big, bulky men, flexing every muscle in their body. Many of them are supposed to be gods and heroes, the epitome of manliness, and yet their pecker is more like a small chirp. These artists, they studied anatomy and were obsessed with proportions, so you know the willy being that much under average was purposeful. It's a small detail that makes you wonder why this happened. It's not like the penis is hard, to sculpt I mean, and obviously the issue wasn't modesty, otherwise Greek artists would have learned how to carve loincloths. Did the Greeks just have small sprouts? Nope. The average Greek pauper is 5.2 inches, while the world average is 5.3 inches. Functionally the exact same. But what's weirdest of all is that the artists didn't sculpt their little man to, shall we say, salute the general. You would think this would be the ultimate symbol of manliness and strength, especially when the point of these statues was to show off every aspect of the human figure. But then you start to read about what the ancient Greeks thought of manliness and the one-eyed basilisk, and it all starts to make sense. The playwright Aristophanes listed the traits that were widely considered to make the ideal male body: a gleaming chest, bright skin, broad shoulders, strong buttock. I mean, we can understand this list so far. But then he goes a bit off the tracks, adding to that list a tiny tongue and, quote, a little prick. The ancient Greeks didn't see large Johnsons as a sign of strength. Quite the opposite. It was viewed as childish at best, and creepy at worst. It showed the public that you had zero self-control, and could get up at the most inappropriate times. Thank goodness we have pants to help with this problem today, but you can see why this would be an issue back in the day of free-flowing tunics. And this is why gods and heroes in ancient Greece were often portrayed with small penile. They had the willpower, intelligence, and focus to keep it down. Meanwhile, the villains and troublemakers in legends are shown with enough girth to tie up some balloon animals. Comedies would often write the fools with north-facing compasses to show their stupidity. They basically acted like dogs without restraint, chasing anything that caught their attention. And in a fun use of this trope, Hermes had road markers that were dedicated to him called Herms that always had big ding-dongs on them. This wasn't to say he wasn't intelligent or heroic, but rather that he was a troublemaker. This was to show his immaturity relative to the other gods. So the ticker, or lack thereof, is the artist's way of conveying the character of the subject. It's just like giving Superman a heroic hands-on-hips pose. It immediately tells the audience what they need to know about the character, even without any context. It's visual shorthand, emphasis on the short in our case. Now, the next time you're at the art museum with your friends, you can both astound and embarrass them with your knowledge of ancient Greek symbolism and why the statues of men have such itty-bitty bits. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go delete some of my search history.